Yo, welcome to the Gransberry Chronicles weekly pick'em. It's week 2. I'm your girl, the Gransberry, the Stadium Queen. Whatever you want to call me, but don't call me short. Anyway, I'm back. I'm excited. I'm just looking forward to moving on to week 2. I would say week 1 was all about the QBs. And so before I get started, I got to make sure I give my co-host a shout out. I got my boy Coach B Pat and I got my boy D Jones. We
What's
trying to
up?
rock that hat. You laughing at your boy or you laughing at me?
I'm laughing at B Pat, man. And then you rocking the hat like you know what I'm saying. I wear hats every week, but you want to go and get the same hat. I guess great minds think
I,
alike. You know
I,
what I'm saying.
I called it.
We
I
was on the
called
same.
it.
I guess me and
Okay,
B was on.
I'm
Me and
that's
B
okay.
on the Texan kick, and then me and you on the Astro kick. So I mean, we cohesive. We cohesive. What we got going on right now, you know.
Well, first of all, the hat wouldn't be possible without me
For sure.
because I'm the one that picks
Yeah,
up the
nobody's
hat.
doubting that.
Hey,
Nobody's doubting that.
hey,
So we're gonna go with that first.
for
But
sure.
secondly, I was going to get one of my Astros hats and I got a little busy, so I didn't grab it right away. But then when I saw you with the hat on, I wanted to join in. But let's be clear, it's not showing, but I'm in a Texans t-shirt, just
I
so you
see.
know.
I
So
Oh,
see.
okay,
That's
I
okay,
was
cool.
okay.
already
All
on
right.
the Texans flow
Okay.
See.
anyway.
Okay.
So let's always be clear. I was ready anyway.
So we all on one
Regardless.
accord.
Yeah.
We on one
Um,
accord.
And it wasn't playing. Trust me, it
We
was
on
not
one
playing.
accord.
hey, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
What's up? What's
Um,
up, Bronze? That's my
but
boy, San Francisco fan.
okay then. But yeah, so moving right along, like I was saying, week 1 seemed to be about all the QB talk. It started out with, the champs on Thursday night not looking like the champs. And the QB play, it wasn't suspect or anything, but it wasn't what the magic that we're used to. And
Mm.
then of course on Sunday we got to see some new stars emerge, some still looking average, but for the most part Love has settled right in with Green Bay and taken over. um there were a few turnovers by, the number 1 pick, but overall, the rookies tried to hold their own, for week 1. They all took a loss, but definitely not a loss as being the worst QBR for week 1. So there's room to keep going up there. And then unfortunately, we had a undecent end to the week 1 for QBs with Aaron Rodgers being gone for the season. But the NFL script, it stuck to form on Monday Night
Man,
Football and gave us everything we could have been looking for. And honestly, I haven't seen that in a while where we've been able to have a great Thursday night game. Now, regardless if you wanted to see more from the champs, or you were looking for a more high-powered offense, the game itself was still a great game. So we had a great start to week 1, and then absent the injury, we had an awesome ending to week 1. So I'm looking forward to week 2. We may not get something as dynamic in this week 2, but we'll take it. I think some of the anticipated matchups, the edge kind of descended a little bit based on what happened in week 1. Obviously, the Jets game is not as big as anticipated with Aaron being out, but we're probably looking to see if most teams bounce back. So with that in mind, y'all know how we do. We don't do every game. We do the games that matter most. So I'm gonna let my boy D Jones get those games out the way so we can get to the ones we're gonna talk about, because we all know our loudmouth fans are waiting to speak loudly. So and they know who they are. So D Jones.
all right, let's get these out the way. So, first one, we all picked Green Bay to take out Atlanta. Gransberry solo dolo picking the Ravens over the Bengals. We all picked the Lions to beat the Seahawks. Another solo Gransberry Titans over the Chargers. We all picked the Buccaneers to take out the Bears. Surprisingly solo, Gransberry picked Arizona to beat the Giants. Me and B say the Giants are at least score this week.
They're gonna score, they're gonna win, because that's two
They
different things.
Score
and
and win.
but come on. All
We
right.
said it was a must. Me and D
It's
was
a
talking
must
about
win
it's a must
already.
win.
It's a
It's a
must
must
win
win
already.
already.
Okay.
So, especially after 40-0. But anyway, Washington, Denver. I'm solo on that one. I picked Denver. We all picked Miami to beat New England. We all picked the Saints to beat the Panthers. And then I'm going to say it this way. Coach B, Pat, and myself picked Tomlin over the Browns.
Sure
So
did.
another solo dolo for you, Gransberry. We put Tomlin on how we normally do Belichick. We normally pick
Belichick, we put the
and not
Tomlin.
New England.
Yeah.
So we're not necessarily picking the Steelers, but we picking Tomlin because after
He's
what
got to
they did,
motivate. He's going to motivate their way to a win.
yeah.
He has.
Sure. He changing quarterbacks?
No, it's not that. It'd be all right.
All right.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking.
It's the same quarterback he had last year, and I think he still don't have a losing record. So, and it's
Well,
still the Browns.
but let's be fair.
Still the Browns with the Steelers.
Let's be fair.
Mhm.
That may be true, but that also was indicative of the division, and so that helps you get over the hump.
And the Browns are in their division.
The Browns are in their
The
division.
Browns defense. The Browns
but
not
when
San
the
Francisco.
Browns
The Browns,
played
much
originally-
respect to the Browns, but they not San Francisco.
I never said they were. They
That's what
don't
I'm
have to
saying.
win the way San Francisco won. They just have to win.
Yeah, you absolutely correct.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move on because it's okay that we disagree because it's a get them out the way anyway.
For sure.
We'll let it show up in the spread. So first game up, Chiefs versus Jacksonville. I probably would say this probably could have been a get him out the way game, in my opinion. Not because, I mean, we have to be honest about the AFC South. Absent, it's my show and I'm gonna talk about my team. There's not much to talk about in the AFC South at this point on a consistent basis, and obviously, I expect the Chiefs to find a way to get it together. They definitely fixed it within 48 hours and got Chris back in the building to be on the field.
What we said, call him on the way home.
Right, on the way home. Don't let him leave the suite. Tell him to come downstairs.
Absolutely.
And sign now. But
Yeah.
I definitely think that the Chiefs, get a little bit more defensive help. And I expect a decent performance out of Jacksonville. So let's be honest. They are on a consistent, decent performance at this point. I just think that the Chiefs have a little bit more to prove at this point. They say they don't, but they will. They will want to. Tony will want to be on the revenge tour of his catches. You don't expect someone to have that bad of a game every week. And it just seemed like everything was bad at the wrong time for them. Now, let's be clear. I'm not discounting Detroit's great efforts at all in the game. I'm just saying that there are times when defense makes a great play, and there are times when you just drop the ball, period. Like no pun intended. So, well, enough to make a difference. So for me, I'm looking for the Chiefs to have a bounce back. Doesn't matter about it being on the road. I'm looking for the Chiefs. Coach?
First of all, the pick six was Tony's fault. The other one was Tony's fault, like 3 or 4 other drops. Rest assured, I just think Patrick Mahomes is like, hey, come here. Let's get some extra reps at practice. You're going to have to catch this because I need you for the time being. And, Kelsey's trying to rev up. I'm not, like you said, we're not discounting the Lions win because they deserve every piece of that win that they got last week or this past week or whatever, last Thursday. However, Chiefs are going to try to give themselves I don't want to say feel good win, but a win to say, hey, look, Jacksonville, we're not ready to give this AFC up. So I'm just going to go with Chiefs on this one. They're going to go 1-on-1.
Yeah, I think we all in agreement on this one. I think this is just one they have to bounce back from. They can't lose this game, right? I mean, they can't lose this. They can't lose this game, right? So I mean, Jacksonville's still Jacksonville. I think they will fight, and the division games are continuing to prove what we always say about division games. They struggled last week somewhat, throughout the game with the Colts, but I just chalk that up to the Colts and the division, even with a new quarterback and some pieces there. I believe this is a rematch game from division round of playoffs last year, I believe.
Yes.
So it should be entertaining, and that's probably why it's on the list. But like you said, T, we probably didn't have to spend a whole bunch of time on this. I think we all think the same thing. The Chiefs are favored by 3.5, so we'll go with the Chiefs.
All right, so moving on to the next game, Vikings versus the Eagles. Now, the Vikings are coming off a tough loss. I would say both of our championship teams from last year were looking a little rusty, but, the Eagles found enough pieces to put together to get a win. They, suffered some injuries. I'm not sure how long-term those injuries will be moving forward, but definitely crucial at the time that it happened. And I think people forget that, because it's not as long like with baseball. You play, much more games past the regular season, but playing all the way until the championship game, even though you may start camp, your body is still very different than the players who pretty much went home the first week of January. So I think, I'll give a little bit more grace to those teams, but I definitely think that, Cousins was awesome on the Netflix special, but the Eagles still got this. And so I expect the Eagles to move to 2-0. Derek?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Gransberry. Eagles home opener. The Vikings were doing Viking-type things. Kirk Cousins with turnovers last week. They did have a good showing from their rookie receiver, Addison, getting their first touchdown of the year. But I don't think they're going to travel well on this one. Short week, Thursday night game. That stadium is going to be, crazy. And then Jalen Hurts and those guys are going to be ready. So 6-point favorites here. I'm thinking they take that 6 points and do well. But I'm going Eagles, not even close on this. Coach, what you got?
I'm going on the Eagles in this one. I mean, even though they were 1 foot away of giving up a first down, and and then going after that for that 4th and 10, whatever he was doing, 4th down on the other side. But we all know the Eagles like to take chances. I just don't
that's
see
right up your alley.
I don't see Minnesota lose or winning this game at all. So I'm going with the Eagles in this one.
So you I know you like taking chances. I can't wait till we get back to your entanglements. But in the meantime, speaking of entanglements, we got the Raiders versus the Bills. Somebody gets in the win column this week. Bills with their home opener, maybe looking for that bounce back that they need. I'm assuming there will not be 4 turnovers and nobody makes their incentives in one game. But that's a hell of a game one to get everything you need for your incentives and your contract to kick in. Great writing to that agent and great play. And great play that you was like, I'm just imagining like you get 1, right? And then okay, you get 2, because we've seen games where somebody gets 2, it's happened. But dog, like when you're on the sideline, like, do you think, man, 1 more? Shoot, I'm going home with $250,000. Or do you think like
that third one was the most impressive though?
Right, that's the question. I feel like that's the question we needed of the week. See, that's what the post-game interview is for. And even if he wasn't picked to interview, that's the question you ask on Monday. You ask for him to be at the podium on Monday, because that's the answer. Like, and I don't want a politically correct one, right? Like, man, I was focusing on the game. No, I want to know what you.
I want my money.
Get out that man's pocket. Get out that man pocket in the press.
I'm not
nah.
in his pocket.
I'm
I
saying I
want
don't
to
know
know
nobody asking him about his money.
the money out there. I'm asking him, like, do you
Yeah.
tell yourself to get more hype? Like,
Yeah.
let's close this deal.
Yeah.
Mama need a house, whatever.
Maybe these
So
some
anyway, I was a little amped up about that. I was surprised that the other G took home a win last week. But I am going with the Bills, boy, but I did pick my other G. So just so you know. But this week I'm gonna stick with the Bills. And the only G we worried about is Gransberry.
Mm.
All right, coach.
Can the Bills fumble this one or intercept this one away? With this week. So I'm just gonna go ahead with I'm going with the Bills on this one. Home opener, Josh Allen has to redeem himself. I mean, these turnovers, but these turnovers are starting to become a problem. Like really, for real, for real.
All right.
A
Start.
problem. Big problem. Okay. They are
How long we been talking about it on
trending,
this
they're
show?
still trending up to still are a problem. I should say that on that aspect of it. But you at home opener, you're going against Vegas. You can't let Jimmy Garoppolo show you up at your place. I'm going with the Bills in this one.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that graphic up. Let's go, Buffalo. So do you guys know what the spread is on this game?
I say
11?
10.
11.5.
You're close. 9.5. I was
9.5.
surprised it was 9.5 spread. It's 9.5. The Bills are favored here for everything that you guys just said. But the only reason why I even wanted to look at this game this week or talk about this game this week is to talk about what you just said, Coach. We've been talking about these picks and the way Josh Allen plays. I mean, dude, stop running for one more yard for nothing. Get out of bounds before you get hurt and stop chunking the ball up. I can't. I'm wondering why they're not telling this guy this and not stressing it with him. Maybe they telling him and he's just doing. That's just the only way he know how to play. But I was getting frustrated watching this. If I was a fantasy owner and he's on my team, or if I'm the GM or even the owner paying this guy this type of money, and the out of bounds is right there, and you choose just to lower your shoulder just for another yard that don't mean anything on first down, right? It's like he got to play much smarter than that to protect his body, number one, and then play smarter, protecting the ball. He can't. They're just not going to be able to do anything deep into the season or playoffs if he's turning the ball at that rate. I mean, they talk about Dak, last year, 3 years,
My thing is they have yet to find like a running game to like take some of those runs away from him.
I disagree.
Per se.
I disagree. Cook was running his butt off.
Yes, he was. He was.
They didn't go to him enough. But
enough. That's why
that's
what I should have said.
And my issue is not with him running. My issue is him being on the sideline. The play is clearly over. And instead of him stepping out of bounds and preserving that hit on his body, he chooses to square his shoulders and think he's going to either jump over somebody, don't leave your feet, or put his shoulder down to try to run over a linebacker. Dude, we understand you big. You ain't got to prove it every time.
I mean, I was saying it during the game, like he would get the first down and he could just literally step one toe, he would be out of bounds and he would go for 2 to 3 more yards. Like he don't even need he don't need anything. But you just reset the downs. It's let the other guys handle it. But for some reason, you can't. I feel like that's something you can't describe. It's easy to sit up here and say that, but I feel like within him, like if that's your ability or your drive to win, it's something that has to be undone, right?
It's comparable to Tua taking jujitsu to learn how to fall so that he's not getting concussions. You got to get smart.
I know that, but I'm saying I think it's more than just say, Josh, go out of bounds, right? Because for me, I think the easier fix is like the interception that was dang near a punt. Just don't do it.
Man, that
right?
thing was up in the air for a long
So
I
time.
it's
think it's
like,
easier to fix the running than to fix the interceptions. That's
right,
just me.
but
But
we're
yeah.
not the athletes, so
No,
that's what I'm
we're
saying.
not.
Like,
We're not. But the interception, you might see something and it not be there. My thing
Right.
is some of them runs, and I'm not talking about a run where you need it. Some of
I
them
know.
runs, we was texting each other, and we was like, that play was clearly over, and he chose to just lower his head. Or, dude, it's no need for you to try to leap over somebody to just to get one more yard, and the down either's already reset. It's just play smarter. That can be
Yeah.
that can be done.
Well, we in agreement who will win. We'll have our own fight about that. But like I said, and I think, one of the viewers is agreeing with my point is, Michael, shout out Michael, is that that's
What's
his
up, Mike?
game. So it's a harder thing to fix. And mind you, I'm not justifying it, because remember, I'm against it. What I'm saying is it's
It's
easy
just
to
who he
say
is.
stop. Is who he is. And that requires someone in the the QB coach, the coordinator, somebody to say, let's put in a program to help you undo that. And I think because it has worked for them so long, nobody has made it a focal point,
Right.
right? Because the games that they're quote unquote losing are not the games centered around that. Now, yes, last week it was, you know what I mean? So because it's not what I feel like with Wentz, when he came in the league, they were like, we need to change the way he holds the ball because it will lead to fumbles. So they immediately did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are things that will immediately affect the game. And I think because it only affects his game and not the overall win, sometimes they haven't pushed it. Whereas with Tua, the type of injury he was getting, you will be out of football quickly, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
Right.
affect the team and your health. So let's find a better approach. And so far, he
Ticking
has.
time bomb. It's a
I
ticking
know
time bomb,
it's a
but
ticking time ball.
not
I,
and
I,
I, and
I believe you.
and we can keep
It's the
going.
same
I'm
with
not telling
Cam.
him to change his game. Believe me, I'm not saying stop running. That's not what
Just
I'm saying.
go
I'm
out of
saying
bounds
get
on that 1 yard.
smarter. I'm
Yeah.
saying get smarter. That's all. He can get smarter. I believe he can get smarter. He can play
Well, let's
smarter.
let's move on to the 49ers versus the Rams. It's another pretty good NFC matchup.
Yeah.
Divisional games are always fun. I definitely don't believe the Rams have enough, even at home, to stop the train of the 49ers. I mean, they're just plug and play, rocking and rolling. Purdy picked up like he never went down. And, McCaffrey's feeling even more at home. And Bosa's feeling that new contract. And they just all over the place. I definitely don't think that they will, necessarily have the same attack as they did on the Steelers, but I definitely expect them to move forward with the W. So that's my easy call. The 49ers take it. Coach.
We talk about consistency, and the 49ers are consistently keeping that same, like you said, keep the train rolling. You got a young quarterback. You don't have to pay him too much, but you can pay everybody else around to play. And McCaffrey, you got Debo, you got Bosa, you got the defenses already set their standard. And the way they dominated Pittsburgh was my goodness. It was a beautiful thing to watch from a standpoint of a football team that was together and connected. Then not a beautiful thing to watch because I picked the Steelers to win that game. So I mean, so from the aspect of it, but I
You
mean, I just went from the home team, so on that one. But I'm definitely going with the 49ers at this one against the Rams, even though they're on the road. This is gonna be, to me, it's gonna be 10 points or more on a win off of this. I just don't. The Rams don't have this same hype they used to have. They used to be like the Rams. We're talking about the Rams like we're talking about the 49ers now, but
let's be clear. One thing's for sure, playing in LA is like a home game for the 49ers.
absolutely,
And I know that from watching them play there. So
absolutely.
it's definitely a home game for them. I'm just convinced the Rams stay at home and watch it on TV. But at the same time, Cup is out. So,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part
and
too.
you don't have Beckham anymore. Like you're saying Rams, but Rams necessarily to me hasn't, shown the execution of a plug and play team. So
No,
it's not the same as when you say all the pieces that keep changing on the 49ers, but the game looks the same. Whereas with the Rams, it was more so the skilled players. You had, Ramsey, you've had a lot of changes that they can't be that dominant team that you just pick every week to win, because you can't say what will be solid, right?
Mhm.
So for me, it's expected, like even more so. And now when as I say it out loud, I can see it being a smash down their throat game, again, like last week. I just expect better play out of Matthew versus, I haven't
pick
really
it.
figured out my opinion on what I see as Pickett as a quarterback. But so as far as like stability of a game, yes, that's what the Rams will attempt. But I definitely think it'll probably be smash throat by the 49ers. They'll be feeling at home. They still feeling good about last week. They don't even have much to correct, right? Like, the game was dominant on all sides of the ball. So when you have that, you just keep trying to build on it. And you definitely want to build on it against a division opponent. So
Yeah, D
speaking of that,
Jones.
we're gonna move to our next game of
Oh, you don't want
divisional
my pick?
opponents.
You don't want my pick?
Oh, I mean, you're gonna pick the 49ers, but tell me why.
Nah, I'll pick the 49ers. They are 8-point favorite.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. And let's move
You
on.
said why. All those things you said. What she said.
Okay. So as we move on to our next matchup, the interesting fun thing here is we have the number 2 pick and the number 4 pick as QBs going up against each other. It is definitely an interesting fact for us to look into. It is the Colts versus the Texans at home. Both guys had pretty similar stats in their opening weeks, and I, I I'm speechless a little bit because one, I was at the game in Baltimore, and one thing, I always say what we talk about anyway is there's a difference in watching the game on TV, watching the game in person, and then going back and watching the 22 view. The 22 view can give you a little bit, if you addicted to that, it gives you a little bit more about when people keep thinking, oh, such and such was wide open. But then when you actually can see the whole play lay out and have an idea of would it have been the best option? Was it the check down? You can, get a better visual. But one thing that I was able to notice more so, and, we briefly chatted about it, during the game, is that there was a lack of ability to be able to get the ball out because there was no time between the line and the defensive line, right? Like it was less than 2 seconds. And the raging comment was throw it away. And here I am, never having played football, don't want to play football, don't ever desire or need to play football. But I also understand intentional grounding, which means that you've got to have somebody in the area to throw the ball to. So if the play hasn't developed, he can't throw the ball away. So it's like asinine to keep yelling, throw the ball away, when the receivers and even the running back, everybody's trying to still get somewhere, even if he wanted to throw the ball away,
It's
right?
that fast. Yeah.
It's that
Yeah,
fast.
it's that
And so
fast.
It was on.
it's
That was on.
correct. And so I think sometimes we forget that. Like, or you get spoiled by the game. There's always a breakaway play. There's a breakaway player. And so I think for me, I was just happy to see like being in control of what you can control. And I felt like that's how Stroud played the game. He was in control of what he could control. He could control the line. And I was at the concession stand the play before the fumble, right? The sack fumble. And I was watching it. And so when the injury occurred, I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm the Ravens, I'm going to go right for that side where they have to change a player. Like it was. And so in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope we run. because if we attempt a pass play, we just setting him up for a fumble. So, with that in mind, yes, you have to hear my spiel about my team, and it was amazing. I had a great time. I've been to Baltimore a few times now, still haven't won there, but I'm gonna get over that. It's still better than my first time there. My first time, I felt like my shoes froze to the concrete, and it was just awful. It was a playoff game, and it was just awful. It was awful in every way you could think of, from the score to the weather to the fans. But this time, I had some nice fans. I had a good time. I got stuck there, so it's always something different every time I go. But back to the game, because you didn't want to hear my travel story, but you're gonna get it anyway, even if you didn't want to. Um, I am looking for a great matchup. I think this is a fair opportunity to win. This is a good chance. I think we're at enough equal footing to make that work. And I don't know what we're gonna look like right now at defense, because we had a lot of injuries in week one. But I am looking to see if we can tailor our offense more to cater to what we have. I think we're running an offense with a great offensive mind, but we're not running it based on what we have on the sideline. That's my opinion. But it don't go that far, right? Because I didn't play football, as they always try to remind me. But I definitely know we don't have nobody clocking downfield to be waiting on wide open plays when we can't protect our guy. So if we play chunk of dunk downfield, I'm okay. I'm like, no joke. Like, it's still football, right? And the goal is to get a first down and a score. And so I felt like he kept getting us in scoring position. We just had some weird play calls that we were using, and then we'd have penalties at the wrong time. And I definitely hope we clean up the penalties going into that. So for me, I'm going with the home team. It's the whiteout. I'm excited. I feel better about being a homer this week than I have in a long time. So, Coach.
Well, y'all were there per se or whatever.
Mm,
But as far as my bad, I said it
mm.
wrong.
Nah,
Anyways,
I'll talk about
but the fact of the matter is we're gonna be in the building this time. So, but I think from the house, from us, I know we were texting each other during the games and stuff like that. So, like, hey, what did you see? What did you see? The fact, we're gonna miss for our two safeties are probably gonna be out. Ridgeway's done for 4 weeks. Our big D tackle, the corners were good, but the thing I liked about it is how aggressive the defense was compared to playing back on our heels with Lovie Smith the last 2 years. We were playing back on the heels and just letting the quarterback dictate. We dictated what the quarterback did, and where Will Anderson Jr. showed out, missed a sack, missed a couple sack chances, and then you had Gennard. It was good to see him finally on the field. With that in the O line, we talk about the O line every week per se, but I feel like I'm with you, Gransberry. We should call some plays with what we have. Then you can call what you want to call when we get a full complement or close to a full complement of our O line. I thought we used the play action too much instead of just because we didn't set up the run enough to set up the play action more so than not. And then it was also good seeing Anthony Richardson on the field from his perspective. He's going to run the ball, and if we're going to have two safeties out, this is the perfect matchup because we ain't got to worry about. Hopefully, they don't go deep, here and there. So, but having said that, we're going to win this game. Home opener, whiteout. D'Amico's first home game, and we're probably gonna have more fans in the building than the opposing team fans
We hope.
We
this
hope.
time.
Wait, wait,
This
wait, wait.
We should.
You might have spoke too soon. You might have spoke too soon.
Yeah. We hope.
I mean, no, I mean,
Hey,
we could call it what it is, I mean,
dang it.
so and so, and I'm gonna be a homer in this one. I feel good about the homer pick, like Gransberry said. So, D Jones.
Yeah, I mean, everything y'all said was on point. I mean, I just want to see them try to set up the run a little bit more. Like you said, it wasn't that the play action wasn't effective; it wasn't set up right. So, and then that beautiful mind of a coach going to have to do something when you on your third string or third setup of an offensive line. It's just, we want the line to be great, protect him. It's the line that's trash, dude. It's your third right tackle and your second or third left guard, your second center within a couple of weeks. Not
Right.
Mhm.
That's
you
why
know
I'm
what I
not
mean?
using that vocabulary against
Yeah,
them. Like,
it's like, come on, but the defensive game plan should be similar to what it was last week. We're looking at pretty much a similar type, quarterback. He's not as dynamic as Lamar is. You say Will A miss sacks. I say Lamar did Lamar. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
And
That's true.
so I think that was a good tune up for this week, and I think the Texans pulled through, even as a 1 point underdog at home. So
1 point underdog.
yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
1 point underdog to me though is still a little bit respect for the newness of the team. Like, because we know we missing some pieces, right? So I can see them not giving us the home advantage because, in theory, on paper, the Colts are a little bit more put together than us right now.
sure.
True.
You would disagree? I'm saying with injuries and everything. I'm not talking about if you had
Oh yeah,
your
I ain't tripping on
oh,
that.
oh,
No, I mean the 1 point underdog is we've talked about give or take within one around
they
one
could have
point
just went ahead and
five.
done even though.
No,
Yeah, they could
that is
have
even.
even,
That you
but
don't bet that game. If you play,
it's.
do not bet that game.
I
That's what they
wouldn't
tell
bet
you.
that game. Yeah, if you
You don't bet
gamble,
that one.
no, you don't bet. That's one of the games you do not touch. So
Yeah, let's go and get to the last one. We ain't gonna call it game of the week. We just gonna call it the
It's
last
definitely not game of the week. It's
Let's
the
get the last
Jets.
game.
It's the Jets versus Dallas. It is not game of the week. I'm sure Dallas is riding high. The Jets are riding high, because the whole world, the air went out of the stadium on 9/11, when Aaron just stood there and sat back down. And obviously, at the other end of the spectrum on Sunday night, Dallas kind of ran New York out the building, literally. And so, um, the fun fact is, I'm glad somebody got beat worse than us.
man,
um, because as I was watching the game, I was just having those flashbacks of the Buffalo game,
Mm.
and it just kept
oh man, that
going,
Buffalo. Oh man,
scoring, and
don't
it
give
was in
me.
the rain. It was bringing back so many
It
unwanted
was. It
memories.
was.
I don't think I've ever been that quiet at a game in my life. That Buffalo game, oh my
I was singing the
Um,
Buffalo song. I was singing the Buffalo
I
chant.
started singing the song too. I mean, at that
Let's go
point,
Buffalo.
I mean, you had to keep warm somehow at that point.
Hey,
But in theory, that's a horrible way to lose to your division opponent. I anticipate Dallas to get the win here. I do expect the Jets to still make another outstanding attempt at defense, but I think that the difference here is we are not confused about what's on offense. And it was, if you think about all of the turnovers by the Bills, regardless of who did them, all of the turnovers, and the game was still that close, it tells you a lot about the offensive side, whether you say it's the line, QB, combination of both. Because I think what happens a lot is we undervalue how much a QB can hide what your line can't do. And then we then try to do and say things like people were saying Aaron's older or whatever. Nobody was saying that at 6 p.m. on Monday. That's your comment after he got hurt. And at the end of the day, it is still some suspect line play. So I expect, Parsons to have a really, really, really good game again. I just expect a little, few points. I think the Jets can at least get their field goals between, the polls. And I think they're coached by a great coach who, you know, I loved his run to the end zone. I mean, when your coach beats you in the end zone, you know he was feeling it, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, I expect a better game, but I definitely still expect Dallas to dominate. Derek.
So this game is going to be tell of the defenses, right? So one thing you got to respect about the Jets is that defensive front, and you got to respect the back. Even I mean, Sauce didn't have a great game against Diggs last week. When it goes down, when you're looking at the targets and all of that good thing, that stuff.
That's because
he was
who
catching
wouldn't
on.
throw his way?
He threw, and
Not
I
as
think
much.
he had like 4 or 5 targets, and he had 4 or 5 catches every target. So he didn't stop the ones they did come his way. They wasn't scared to throw his way. It was other issues. They definitely weren't scared to throw his way because he ain't shutting down no side. Come on now. So not in that game, but that had more to do with Diggs than it had to do with Sauce. I still got tons of respect for Sauce. That's why I'm saying that defense itself is going to be much different than what Dallas saw against the Giants this past week. So be careful, Dak. But I think the Cowboys do win this game. I just think they're a better team all around than the Jets right now. But the defense is going to be coming for Dak. That front line, Williams and them boys, man, they serious. So Cowboy fans, you know, have a little grace on Dak because them boys that's coming, they for real. So, but I think Cowboys pull this out. They are 9-point favorites on this. I'm not sure they cover the whole 9, but I think they definitely win this game. What you say, Coach?
Man, it was fun watching the Jets, you know, turn up the heat defensively when they did their part. The punt return, the walk-off punt return was actually exciting to watch and seeing. And wasn't that the guy on Hard Knocks that was about to get? He thought he was going to get cut, so that was a good feel-good story. But
Stephen F. Austin, Lumberjack.
yeah, Stephen F. Lumberjack. But I got Dallas winning their home opener this one. Just a little bit more offense to give them over the hump. It's going to be a field goal game.
Oh, he went there. You kill me with these field goal games.
I think they covered the 9, but I don't know about 3.
I'm not saying I ride with that either. I mean, to me, that's almost a little bit too much disrespect to Dallas.
I'm not disrespecting Dallas. I'm respecting the Jets defense. So I mean, I'm not disrespecting because Zach Wilson going. Oh yeah, I ain't think about that. I think about that. My bad. Hold on. Hey. Forget it. Scratch the field goal game because we got Zach Wilson being the quarterback against Dallas. Yes, I'm going Dallas. Not more than a field goal.
They're gonna try to run here.
We was clear that you agreed with Dallas winning the game.
It's the 3.
It was just the 3 points. Like these
might be teams, 6. It's gonna be more than 3.
But yeah, because when you say that, it's like you're saying they're equally matched.
No,
at the point of scoring. No. Because that's where 3-point games
hold on. But we've seen it week after week. There's games where teams we don't feel like are evenly matched end up having a trash game or a slip-up game. I mean, do we think Kansas City and the Lions are evenly matched?
But we on this game. It's not. I'm not trying to take what
I'm just playing. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
If Dak have like 2 interceptions, then they get short field.
Right. They have a better run game.
All I'm saying.
They have a better line to allow for a better run game.
Watch out for
look now. I'm not. I'm not the D fan, but at the end of the day, we're not gonna sit here and make this game the 3.
It won't be for. It won't be for there ain't nothing though. I can tell you that.
But I said that already.
I'm just looking for your field goal game. So just stand on it.
Hold on. I stand. Forget that. I stand on it. Field goal game. 3 points. I stand on it. I see what I said.
Okay then. Look, you better say that for your text chat that you got with whoever you be talking to when you tell them you stand on it.
Watch on.
Stand on it.
Watch
Oh wow!
Look,
You had to do that.
Entanglement.
okay, look, that's all the games we're gonna talk about. We normally don't do any college, but then again, this is my show. I can do whatever I want to do, and I'm looking forward to two things. One, my nephew's district play opens this weekend. They play Skyline at home, DeSoto. I'll be making sure I will be in my season ticket seat watching that lovely game. Looking for a good one. The starters only played the first half last week as they cleaned house with Sock. Now, moving to college, if it was not for our opener weekend, I would definitely be in Colorado. There is no doubt about that. But I'm still loving the hype around Colorado. I'm still loving the hype around Prime. Obviously, I've been down with Prime. I love Prime. I feel like I relate to Prime in the sense of, when you're true to yourself, your destiny aligns with your faith, and everything else around you will give you what you need. And so I personally can't wait. I just got to wait 2 more weeks. I'm more excited, but I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, but I'm more excited to go to my Colorado game than I am to see the concert next weekend. Probably because I feel like I will get more high and joys, and I don't mean high off the things in Denver. I mean literally the game.
Sure.
But I'm like so looking forward to it. So you're going to be hearing about it for the next 2 weeks because I'm specifically going to the USC and Colorado game. So that has me thrilled. So every week I'm going to have my prime moment, but I may also mention whatever game of the week I felt like was a good game, and I definitely felt like the Texas Alabama game was a good game, and Texas did their thing. Shout out to, we got 2 DeSoto state champ alums on that team as well right now, freshmen. And so I just want to it's more than just, it's 2 DeSoto, but it's more than that as state champs on the team now because they also, have state champs from other Dallas schools as well. But I just look forward to that. And so I think this weekend is going to be a great weekend for football. And that's my take and my extra piece that I wanted to add. And guys, I hadn't said this to you in the group chat yet. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to make our 1 versus 2 matchup next month. I'm not sure.
You from Carolina?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to make North Carolina versus the Texans.
Oh. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, but
I think I know why. Hold on, let me check the schedule.
Look here, you don't know, Nathan.
It's the following weekend.
You don't know now.
Homecoming the first week of November.
It's not even homecoming, so don't even try it. I would have said that from
that's
jump.
I know that's what he was thinking. It ain't homecoming.
No. I know it ain't homecoming. I know it ain't homecoming. It ain't homecoming.
Got it wrong.
No, because I done cleared my schedule for that.
Okay.
You don't know, so you can't look it up.
UCLA.
Let's go and wrap it up.
UCLA.
Yeah, let's go wrap it up. Let's tell them where they at.
UCLA.
You tried it. It's not. You couldn't guess it if you want to.
Whatever.
It could have been me getting married for all you would have known.
Hey, shoot, we be the first ones on the front row.
I got married already, September 7th. Anyway, Coach Pat, tell them where to find you.
You find me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
Oh Lord,
Elon Musk, whatever his name is. Coach B Pat. You can find me on Instagram at Coach B Pat and Threads, Coach B Pat.
You did too much right there. That's why your book couldn't even tell nobody where to find you. D Jones.
Whatever.
I'm on Twitter and TikTok at that boy D Jones, and on Instagram that boy D. Jones. Holla at your boy.
Well, they still go Huskers over here, so I ain't tripping.
Yeah, y'all took a beat. I left you. I left you out
I
of my
don't care.
spiel, so
I
you
don't
need to
care.
ride with that and
I
zip it.
don't care. I
Zip
don't
it.
care.
Anyway,
They're gonna lose to
you can
USC
find
anyway.
me. It's my moment. You need to tone it down for my moment. My moment. You can find me at the Gransberry, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, YouTube. I kind of keep it simple, and then maybe we'll announce some great news in a week or two. We'll see. Maybe next week we'll have some awesome news to share. We'll see.
What is it?
Keep your ears to the street.
What is it?
As they say.
Whisper it to me.
It's gonna be
Peace out.
At any rate, I appreciate y'all joining us. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.